Local 15's Andrea Ramey got the exclusive interview with Jockish today. Andrea, quite an understatement to say he was very candid.
Yeah, he spoke more freely than his attorney would have liked, and I was surprised by how much he spoke. Today he told me he frequently talks with women through Craigslist, that a divorce may be in his future, and he explained why the charge of soliciting sex doesn't make much sense.
First of all, let me tell you this. I'm impotent. I can't have sex.
It doesn't get much more frank than that. Freeman, what do you have to say about these charges against you? Moments after leaving Metro Jail, the former county commissioner defended the sex charges against him.
I showed up there, but I was going over there to tell that girl to get off of a Craigslist. She was 15 years old. I don't even know the girl. I never met her.
Investigators say that you initiated the topic of sex, that you went there for the purposes of having sex.
No, I sure didn't. I don't do that.
So you never exchanged sexual emails?
No.
What were the topic of the emails?
The only thing that I ever said to her, I said, you know, I would like to make love. You know what I'm talking about? But I do that to make her tell me what she wants. And then for them to say that I went out there to entice. First of all, let me tell you this. I'm impotent. I can't have sex. So why would I go out there and do that? You tell me that.
Well, you did say that you wanted to make love in the email.
Well, that was for her to tell me what she wanted. Just like that other woman, I said, you know, I would love to make love to you if you are real. And then they'll come back and tell you what they want.
So you did say that you wanted to make love if you're real to a 15-year-old.
No.
Freeman Jockish went on to tell us that for years he's been making contact with women through Craigslist. He says he does it not to have sex, but to help them. He described meeting up with a woman on DIP who needed money to get her car fixed.
And she said, I'll whatever it takes, I'll do it. And I know what she was talking about. And I went down there and I gave her $40.
But he says he didn't give her money in exchange for sex. Jockish says there's no sinister motive behind what he does. He believes he's doing God's work. So you're not out on Craigslist trolling around for sexual partners?
Hey, I've been married 48 years, and the people in Mobile know me. I don't do that. In fact, I told you, I'm impotent. I can't have sex.
Have you spoken with your wife since these charges?
No, I hadn't.
Are you afraid to go home right now?
Is she here?
Did your wife know that you were communicating with women on Craigslist, even if you're just trying to help? I mean, did she know that you were having these interactions?
No, she didn't know that. When she found out, she told me she was going to divorce me. And I told her, I said, sugar, I'm just trying to help these people.
Where do you go from here? I mean...
My life's ruined. I mean, what can I do? I mean, everybody's going to think that I'm a pervert. I mean, it kills me to even think about that.
Jockish told me he wasn't sure if his family would have him for Thanksgiving. Part of his bond actually stipulates that he has to be supervised around children. He says if they won't be with him, he'll go to the Salvation Army. And late at night and early in the morning, I found she's at a place that's nowhere near the district she represents.
The letter was forwarded to the mayor's office.
After Pritchard City Council meetings, Council President Earlene Martin Harris usually goes back to her Pritchard home. For a few hours at least. This is her maroon Chevrolet Malibu with the white sign on the side. But after one September meeting, we found that at the end of the night, around 9:20, she was pulling into this driveway at another home, 18 miles away in Daphne. Where do you live?
I live in District 2 in the city of Pritchard, Alabama. And
we caught up with the councilwoman at a new cafe she's opening in her district. She was eager to answer our questions about her residency. When you go to bed at night, when you wake up in the morning, you were in Pritchard.
I'm in Pritchard.
We found that's not always the case. We checked her Pritchard home a couple nights in recent weeks. She wasn't there when we were. But we did find her leaving her Daphne home early one morning and driving to her job, which is in Daphne at Riviera Utilities. Another morning, we saw her coming from the Daphne home and taking her children to school. She's dropping them off at Daphne High School, miles away from the Pritchard district she represents. Yearbook photos show her two children have been in the Baldwin County Public School system for years. There's your car leaving at 7:25 in the morning. I'm behind you in the carpool line. There's you dropping the kids off.
I don't deny any of that.
You live in Pritchard, and yet you are able to establish residency in a different county so that your children can go to school there. Something about that doesn't seem right.
You said I established residency. I did not establish residency. I never, ever moved my residency out of Pritchard.
Martin Harris says her husband established residency in Daphne. Property records show the couple owns 5 parcels of land there. On one of those parcels, Martin Harris and her husband built a $179,000 home, according to mortgage records. A source close to the family says that ever since this house has been built, this is where Martin Harris is spending the night. Martin Harris even admits this is where her husband and her children live, but she claims she doesn't live here. She only visits. How often do you spend the night over there?
Oh, I don't count the days. I don't know.
Do you spend a majority of the time here?
I spend the majority of my time in Pritchard, Alabama, in my district.
You're telling me you own property in Daphne, you spend nights in Daphne, your kids go to school in Daphne, but you reside here.
Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because
how is that possible?
It's not where my children reside. The law doesn't say that my children have to reside in the district in which they represent. The law states that I must reside in the area in which I represent. And I do that.
We've been in contact with the Mobile and Baldwin County District Attorney's offices to clarify whether Martin Harris is indeed following the law. We're waiting for an answer. We're going to stay on top of this story. We'll keep you posted on any new developments. By the way, Martin Harris makes $7,500 a year as a council member. We wanted to know if companies you trust with your personal information are keeping it secure. To find out, I went dumpster diving at a dozen of our local title loan and cash advance businesses and found some of your information was literally treated as trash. Before you can get a title loan, you have to hand over oodles of information. Information that in the wrong hands could do a number on your credit score. I suited up and set out to see how local title loan and cash advance businesses are keeping your records and how they disposed of them when finished with your transaction. This one was just empty. This one looks good. It didn't take long before I stumbled upon this. Here's someone's bank statement from Wells Fargo. Has their account number written right there. In the dumpster out front of Alabama Title Loans on busy Spring Hill Avenue, I found dozens of documents not shredded, all full of personal information. Here's a customer application. This has their social security number on it, along with their name, where they work, how much they make. All right, here we have someone's driver's license. Is that your driver's license?
It is.
That was Peggy Broadhead's driver's license we found in the dumpster. Is that your social security number?
Oh my God.
We also found her customer application that listed her social security number, home address, her income information, and a copy of the title to her car.
Somebody needs to tell me some answers.
And remember that bank statement we found? The one that had the full account number on it?
Wells Fargo, that's what I bank with.
That's your bank account number?
Yeah.
That belonged to Felicia Copeland.
I don't really have words for it. It's shocking.
We found her bank statement along with her application that lists her social security number.
I could have been a victim. That's just as easily as you got it, somebody else could have got it.
So what does the company tell customers it does with private information?
All of their information, all of the paperwork and everything would be absolutely secure and no one would be able to get a hold to it or anything.
Both Broadhead and Copeland say Alabama Title Loans promise discretion.
When you go in there, they ask you, do you want me to shred your information? And you tell them, yes.
When we went to the store, a worker told us they keep everything on file for 5 years. But in both Copeland's and Broadhead's case, the applications were less than 3 years old. Broadhead just filled out her application in December.
It was close to Christmas, and just so that I could have a few extra dollars for my kids for Christmas. And I wound up not even doing my title loan with them.
So you guys can't talk to the media?
No, we're not.
Workers told us we'd have to talk to their boss at a different branch about what we found. That boss also told us she wasn't authorized to talk to the press and referred us to their corporate office in Georgia. We're still waiting for an answer.
They need to get it together. They need to get it together and take better measures of protecting people's personal information.
They should be shut down because it's not fair and it's not right. is not right at all. And there's got to be laws against them being able to do that. They shouldn't be able to do that.
Turns out the state doesn't even require title loan companies to shred documents. The bank department told me it can take administrative action against a company for being reckless. That action can include revoking the company's license.